Hey guys, so this is just a quick announcement before we start. I am giving away the Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings Bard subclass. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really happy with it. And I'm going to give it away completely for free for about a week or two. And if you enjoy it, maybe consider checking out some of the other subclasses because it's a great way to help us out. And I actually think they're all a lot of fun. So, I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it, but let's get into the video.
That guy's Mary Sue. I'm on good terms with my Shadowrun GM, but one of his sniper characters is a total Mary Sue, and he claims otherwise. I'm apparently no expert in Sue detection, but I'm pretty sure this counts as...
Okay, let's hear it.
Ported from a previous campaign, is now the GM PC.
GM it's already... You're on it for a bad start, but I am a sucker for playing characters across... I love that type of shit, so I'm okay with it.
Tragic backstory. Her parents are dead and she killed some people as a teen.
Wait, is this not a character from Metal Gear Solid?
I think it's...
It sounds like a character from Metal Gear Solid. It sounds like Sniper Wolf and Quack meshed together.
Acts as a plot device and generally progresses the plot. Always in the spotlight. Wears purple. Only purple. Everything she owns is purple.
I mean, it is Shadowrun though.
Well,
and
yeah.
Shadowrun is a very purple aesthetic. I have a hard time imagining Shadowrun without neon purple and neon blue hues and a bit of green.
Has a surgically installed tail. Oh god.
Oh no.
Insane, but strictly in a quirky, hyperactive way.
LOL. Does she quote Charlie the Unicorn and other shitty fucking early memes?
Is apparently socially inept, but does a lot of social interaction regardless. This social interaction usually involves being violent with people for no reason. Knocked the party's face unconscious after he reminded her that he warned her about her stupid choices. Also heavily injured the party tank in a single punch because somehow stacked two weapons into one attack. Appears inside of heavily guarded compounds for no reason. DM drops loads of Deltaware, Cyberware and Bioware on the party at the end of the said compounds, so Fountain...
Oh, is that the name?
Is that in the name? So Fountain can pick them up, and further be minimaxed. This wouldn't be an issue since the game is still pretty fun, but now he wants to port his character into my campaign as his backup PC, since he thinks I'm going to kill his Dodge Queen cheese tank. Is this a Mary Sue?
Yes, it most definitely is.
It fits the criteria.
I think, okay, tragic backstory, tick. Overpowered, tick. DM player character, tick. An attachment to a single colour, weirdly specific, but it is true. Tick. Example, Shadow, or honestly, whenever I think Purple Mary Sue, I can't help but think of fucking Cold Steel the Hedgehog. Tick.
Well, he goes on to post this character's full backstory.
Oh, let's get into it, will we? Let's get into it.
This has been directly copied from her backstory. All errors are his fault, not mine. Ezri Fountain originally grew up for the first few years of her life in an outer town in England. She grew up in a loving family, still having its quirks, mind you.
Quirks?
Quirks.
Oh, quirks. Oh, right,
I think that's...
I thought it was like a Swedish duck there for a minute.
Quack? That was, for the most part, sheltered from the world. The family decided to take a trip such that they could see the rest of the world. I'm reading this exactly as it's wrote, so...
Yeah, that's just...
They decided on Boston, home of...
I couldn't imagine a worse place to go.
Worse. Chicago.
Yeah. Any American major city sounds like hell on earth, I'm sorry, guys.
Home of the Neonet and years of American history. They explored and did various things in the city. On their route through town, their car was hit. It was an armoured truck being chased. The truck slowed down enough as it hit us so that we could see their faces and know who they were. Ezri was thrown into the floor of the car. Knowing that someone had seen them, a man got off the truck and walked up to the car. Without saying a word or hearing any of her family's pleas, the man shot both of her parents in the head. The man couldn't see the child, but she could see him. His distinct purple cloak glistening as he walked away.
Oh, is that where she got the purple from then?
The police picked her up and saw where she was from. Unable to contact her family back home in England, she was put into the foster care of the United States.
Oh, does that mean she loses her lovely English accent?
Cool, blimey! Apples and pears! Up the stairs! I can just imagine, like, an American middle-aged man going, "Oh, mate!"
Yes. Oh my god, that's perfect.
She was 6 years old.
But she was actually...
The crash left her pretty banged up and she needed medical attention. When she went to the hospital, she met a nice young doctor by the name of George. George was kind to her as she recovered and made her feel safe, even though such a tragic thing had happened.
Please tell me the player's name is not also George. Because this is going to get really bad real fucking quickly, guys.
After she recovered, she went into the foster care system. The parents she was assigned weren't bad, but they were not equipped to deal with someone that had been through such a traumatic experience. 4 years went by before she realised that her life had to change. She decided that at night she would sneak out and try to find the hospital that she had been taken to, hoping to find the doctor that had been kind to her. She explored and explored, learning how to avoid people and remain hidden in the city. It took her almost a year to trace herself back to the hospital that she had stayed at. So wait, what age would she have been? So 4 years?
10. She's 10.
Okay.
But like, honestly, you're in the Shadowrun universe, right? And people in America can't get a hold of people in England. It's honestly like the easiest setting to get in contact with people. Like, mass communication, no.
When she finally found the hospital, she decided to find his office and wait till he arrived in the morning. When he arrived, he jumped and asked who she was. To her dismay, he did not recognise. After a couple of seconds, and the terror dying down, he recognised her and asked what she was doing there. She explained how her family now was nowhere near equipped to deal with it. George tried to explain to her that even though he was a doctor, he herself feeling empty. He couldn't get
crawling in my skin.
She couldn't get over what had happened. She felt hate. She wanted revenge. Continuing to sneak around the city at night, she found herself starting to associate with the underbelly of society, or rather, the underground. She wanted to see if she could spy and eavesdrop enough so that she could find her parents' killer. A couple times she was detected. She took gunshots on multiple occasions, mostly grazes. Every time she was injured, she would show up in George's office the next morning. He would always ask how she would get herself into these scrapes. She would tell him the truth, because he was the only one she could tell. Eventually George started telling her tips and tricks so that she didn't have to wait for him all the time to treat her injuries. Knowing what she was doing, he offered her a weapon.
My god.
Giving a 10-year-old a weapon.
Let me give me a 10-year-old handgun here. Hold on.
He offered her a weapon so that when she finally faced the one who killed her parents, she would know what to do.
Oh, you know what it is? No way. No, there's no way that someone like this uses it. She uses throwing knives. Or like shurikens or some shit like that.
Ninja stars or something.
Yeah, you know, fine, like it's gonna be some bullshit like that.
Another 2 years went by. She knew Boston very well then, pretending to be a normal girl by day, and by night, sneaking and becoming part of the underground crime organisation.
So, do a Boston accent, Megan.
Oh, I can't do a Boston accent.
Well!
What was that?
Well!
I'm just thinking of Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, how would you... I'm Irish!
I'm Irish! I don't know, I can't fucking do it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Finally, she found him. The man with the bright purple coat. When he was strolling home, unexpecting of any violence, she dropped down behind him, pistol in hand.
Oh, shame.
He hears and turns around. She says to his face, "This is what happens when you fuck up," and shoots him in the head with all the bullets in the gun. Oh,
go on, do it in the English accent. Go on.
Oh, this is what happens when you fuck up. What the fuck is that? That's an American trying to be English.
Oh.
And shoots him in the head with all the bullets in the gun. She takes his cloak and his dual pistols, becoming the monster he had created 7 years ago. At 13, she started stirring up trouble in the underworld. At the age of 16, she had done enough jobs and made enough money to permanently take herself off the grid, to become sinless, to wipe herself clean. And when she did, she disappeared to all but a few. George only knew where she was, because she would still come in every time she was injured. As she went on, she took the purple clock. She had little too seriously. She dyed her hair purple and bought a purple suit of armour. She became known in some communities as the Purple Menace.
Scott Pilgrim and its consequences.
What the fuck? But as she got older, she worked less and less, needing less money to survive. One night she got wasted, and the next morning she woke up with a purple fox
Oh my
tail.
god. No! No!
She had always thought it would be cool, but she can't believe that she actually did it. She went back to the dealer that gave it to her and asked why she did it. He replied, "You seemed very intent on becoming a fox lady, and you were rather violent about your terms." He went on to explain how she forced him to get the tail at gunpoint, but then for some odd reason proceeded to pay him.
Right, okay, this seems like a forced FEMBOI thing. It's like put on the cat ears, gun in hand. You're going to put on the cat ears, you're going to put on the tail.
Put on the fishnets.
Yeah.
She apologised for this and promised him that for any cybernetics, she would come back to him. At around 19, she began having trouble keeping up her outrageous sleep schedule without a stimulant. Ezri took to drinking caffeine 2 cups a day minimum.
Mate, I drink about 50, it's really bad.
She got
2 cups of... Whoa, we got a wild man. Whoa, madman right here with 2 cups of coffee.
She got chummy with a local coffee shop owner that seemed to be able to give her information about the goings-on at... I was about to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right, let's call it Teenage Mutant Ninja... It's one of the
Yeah. Over the next year, she did a couple very lucrative heists playing Overwatch.
Literally playing Overwatch.
Yeah. She was part of a heist working for a female weapons dealer she had seen in the past. After a while, she became friends as they always gave each other good terms. She used the money from this to buy herself Orthoskin, a cybernetic arm spurs.
Oh my god, tell me that's a fursuit, isn't it? That's a fucking fursuit, and I can tell that is.
A holdout pistol, and most importantly, a sniper. Finally, she made a special request for her fake skin. It was the life she would have lived if her parents hadn't died that day. A normal life. She keeps it as a reminder of what could have been. She's 23 now, and she hasn't worked for a while. She's going to need some cash soon to keep up her outrageous habits. What, coffee?
2 cups of coffee a day. Wow! Wowzers!
I
get really cuckoo when I have my coffee. Yo!
She finds an ad put out looking for people willing to assist someone for a price. She couldn't exactly refuse work, so she showed up.
Oh,
anyway,
nice.
This is only her original backstory. All the stuff I bitched about in the OP happened afterwards.
That is a Mary Sue. I have no other words to put on it, but that is what it is.
Typical Mary Sue.
You know, and you know that really is the thing with Mary Sue's. I think they do come from a place of people that really they're very excited and they really want. You know what I mean? They've got all these ideas and they just don't know. Maybe you should only tone it back a wee touch. Maybe you shouldn't graduate at the top of your class. You know what I mean? Maybe go in and out. Maybe you can't have it all in one go without someone being like, that sounds kind of cringe, man, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And also, honestly, backstory is such a hard one. I find a lot of people struggle with backstory, and it really does depend on what level the campaign's starting at, I think. So if you're starting level 1 paragraph, level 2, maybe 2 paragraphs.
Yeah.
And maybe so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It depends on what point you start at.
But don't hand a fucking book over.
Yeah.
Like 60 pages front and back.
Yeah. But again, I find Mary Sue's come from people that are very excited for
overly
the game,
excited,
and they really want to get into it and all that. And it's a hard one to deal with, Mary Sue's, because if you try and do anything with them, or you try and be like tone it down a wee touch, they take it very, very personally.
Yeah. They do.
And I feel like a lot of Mary
Sue's... Because
Sue's...
it's their first character.
A lot of...
99% of the time it's their first character.
And, that just comes with time and a bit of experience, but this guy's a fucking DM for Shadowgun, so we must have been playing for at least a decent amount of time.
If he's a DM.
Yeah.
So, this guy is just cringe.
Yeah. Sorry, but let's keep going into the thread and see what other Mary Sue's there are.
Psst. Hey, lean in closer. This is fucking ASMR channel now. You know it's pretty fucking based. Titties. Go see titties. Lots of titties.
All the titties.
Go over to the website, check out all the models. You guys know the score. We have some really nice looking models over there. And we have a lot of...
Sci-fi gothic?
Yeah.
Let's call them sci-fi gothic.
And if models isn't your shit, we have loads of subclasses and we keep adding them every other week or so. We add a lot.
We got a lot.
Look, we've got big brains. We add shit. Every week, we're going to be doing a giveaway of the new pin-up model of the month. Or, if models isn't your thing, all of our homebrew content. If you want to be in with a chance to win the giveaway, all you need to do is subscribe. That's it. Hit the subscribe button. That's it.
Do it now.
But last week's winner was this guy. Well done! Yay! Round of applause.
Yeah.
Everybody stands up and claps. But enough of that. Let's get back to the video. Race is a homebrew allowed by GM, inspired by Spider. Race lives along Drowse.
So what that means is...
They live alongside Drowse?
Well, that too. It means like, okay, I want to be super edgy, but, you know...
I don't want to be a Drow.
No, I want
them on my game.
I want to be associated with the guys. I want to be cool and evil and
but I don't want to be one.
But I want to be more special and more unique.
Yes. Class is Spiritualist, a fighter/mage hybrid that has a phantom to assist them in fighting.
Alright, okay. Actually doesn't sound too bad, if I be honest with you, but, you know, finally, it's going to be bad.
Story begins before birth of actual character. Character's big brother to be is a fighter in deep caves. Big brother to be?
Well, it means that he's not born yet, the Mary C in question.
Oh, right, okay. Big brother hears mother is with child. Big brother also hears mother is sick and child is at risk. Due to population regulative measures, everyone is prohibited from gathering needed medicine.
What?
On false premises, brother gathers a group of fighters and go deep into cave looking for healing herb. Herb is found at the cost of lives of everyone in the group, save Big Brother who is gravely injured. Big Brother makes it home in time for birth with Herb. Big Brother dies. The eyes of his newborn baby sister, the last thing he sees. Drow Queen is furious. Good men died and laws were broken. Since there is nobody alive to be punished, she casts a spell. Big Brother's forgotten by everyone who knew him, save for the Queen, as a reminder.
Wait. So...
Wait, continue.
Okay, well, we'll continue.
Character is born, seemingly healthy. During early years, talks about seeing things that others cannot see. Queen catches word of this. Character's grandmother was a well-known seer. Assumes it is the same with character. Takes character in to mould her talents. Character becomes one of Queen's handmaidens. Character grows attached to Queen, almost like a second mother. Character keeps talking about seeing someone talking to her, watching over her. Queen gets feelings her initial instincts were wrong, but still trains character, as she can be useful nonetheless. Years pass and character and Queen become rather close. Character struggling slightly, thinking she might be somewhat of a loon. Seeing and hearing someone talk to her, claiming to know her. Someone whom nobody knows who it is. Queen slips up one night, mentioning brother's name. Character immediately recognises it. Queen tells the tale of her brother. Character rushes off to deep caves to hit something.
Okay.
Gets ambushed by strong monsters. As she is sure she would be eaten, a blue flash appears and an apparition holds the maw of the beast. Her brother finally manages to materialise. They spend a night talking things over. He knows what he did was forbidden. Instead of seeking revenge, they get permission from the Queen to act as diplomats, meanwhile seeking a powerful paladin king to try to bring brother back to life. Cue the tales of Lanira and Lazarus.
I mean, it's not the worst, but I feel like I'm that battered down that I'm actually not as upset with that.
No.
I mean, I've heard of a lot worse. It's definitely a Mary Sue, but... I don't get... Okay, so some of the things that I don't get. First of all, so males in Drow society are like second-class citizens anyway.
Yeah.
So why would you get upset whenever males die? Nah. They're kind of like useless. They're kind of almost like borderline slaves anyway. So, nah. I don't really have anything else to say about that, but nah. You know what I mean? That was a very meh story, if I be honest with you. But the Spiritualist kind of, like, you know, at least it was cohesive. That's all the only thing I can give it. It was cohesive, okay?
Yeah,
Sometimes that's all you can. That's all you can ask for.
When the gypsy migration brings their caravans through the borders of the kingdom, they are rebuffed by a lord of the kingdom who lets them cross the river and camp out inside the borders whilst word is sent to the capital to ask if they have permission to travel through their lands.
Nope, gypsies.
No.
Out. I love it whenever I might cut this, but I love it whenever it's like Europeans talking to Americans about lease negotiations, Europeans talking about gypsies. Nine. As I say,
I got my friggin' lawnmower stole by gypsies.
Remember they moved into our school?
I remember that, and we couldn't open up.
Yeah, the school opened up. We were off for an extra week over summer because gypsies moved into the school and we were living in the...
We're living on the football pitches.
Yeah.
Due to bureaucracy and King's Council squabbling, the gypsies are stuck there for a long time and quickly began to starve, even when the lord that rebuffed them brings them food. A mercenary company, working title The First and Only, are hard to maintain order, basically watching the encamped gypsies to make sure they don't do anything reckless. Things get worse and eventually a gypsy couple sell their son to the mercenaries in exchange for a dog for them to eat. Their son is essentially enslaved by the mercenaries and put to work. He's around about 6 with blonde hair and a gypsy braid. Grows up around the mercenaries doing their busy work, digging latrines and other menial degrading tasks.
I mean, a 6-year-old ain't gonna dig shit.
Yeah.
They're gonna be what work can you get out of a 6-year-old?
I know. They call him Rat, joking that his gypsy braid is his rat's tail.
I've actually met quite a few fellas with fucking rat's tails.
And he receives a lot of abuse because he's from gypsy parents, though he remembers nothing of his parents or his life before he was sold. Only a few words in gypsy tongue, a yellow caravan, and how to tie his braid. 3 years later, the higher ranking members of the company start taking on squires for assorted reasons. Rat idolizes the captain of the company and fears his lieutenant Boris. The captain takes on a squire from their current employer, the bastard son of a king, whilst Damien is taken on as a squire by the cruel and abusive Boris, who treats Rat like a dog. Boris is a cruel and abusive drunk who beats and scolds Rat. He was tortured years ago and blames his captain. One of the most obvious marks of his torture is that he has no fingernails, which makes Rat cringe. The bastard squire is arrogant and narcissistic, taking shots at Rat and lording over him every chance he gets. The constant abuse makes Rat cruel, but he doesn't break, and on a few occasions end up fighting the bastard squire.
Does this turn into some form of gay romance? This sounds like a gachi-michi.
Yeah, it sounds like a gay romance. Rat apprentices to the company blacksmith to pay off Boris's debts, getting much stronger from the vigorous work. The captain starts showing interest in Rat, seemingly making excuses to talk to him, questioning him and filling him in on the goings-on, the bigger picture of the war. The rest of the mercenaries don't treat Rat that badly, but also fear Boris and don't step in to stop him when he punishes Rat for X or Y. Eventually Rat follows Boris into battle. Numerous skirmishes. His first kill is a peasant boy his own age, and a battle where he is paralysed by a blow to the back of the head whilst locked in a shield wall. It's the peak of summer and the bodies are rotting quickly, so they just dig a mass grave and dump everyone inside. Rat is conscious but paralysed and tossed into the grave, and more bodies are piled up on top until he's completely buried. He begins to feel something in the sea of bodies, a hand cold as ice caressing his palm smoothly, suddenly giving him a new life and control over his body. He claws his way out of the mass grave, much to the surprise of the men filling the grave within. Rat excels across the war after this, becoming quite popular among the mercenaries, who treat him more like a human being and with a level of respect. At some point Boris deserts, and Rat becomes the second squire to the captain. There's more to this, but it's not important. He learns to read and write, and the finer parts of warfare through this. The king's trueborn son dies in a shipwreck, and the bastard squire becomes the heir to the kingdom. When the fuck does a squire become?
Whenever you know. Do you want to have civil war? Because that's how you get civil war.
With the end of the war, they are invited back to the castle to feast. He's about 14 or 15 now. At the feast, Rat is allowed to feast as their equal and starts flirting with a singer girl. Being one of the few girls he's been able to talk to, he gets a puppy crush on her. Later, during the feast, he steps outside for some air and sees said singer girl getting off with the bastard squire. He feels betrayed and enraged that the bastard squire is so fortunate for no reason compared to him, who has had to struggle and fight to get where he is today. whilst the squire gets everything handed to him. When the singer girl leaves, he feels the stabs the squire through the back in a sudden bout of rage and rolls his body into the latrine, taking his crown and jewels for good measure. He returns to the feast, but before long they start looking for the squire and find his body. I haven't cleared it up yet, but Rat is discovered as the murderer, and the king, now heirless, calls for his head. The captain suddenly rallies his men to fight and protect Rat, much to Rat's extreme astonishment and regret.
Well, what the fuck do you think was going to happen, mate? You can't just...
like
treason. Do you know what happens with treason?
A bloody melee ensues in the feast hall, and by the end, only Rat, the king, and the captain are left. Everyone else lies dead or dying. They fight. The captain is grievously wounded, but Rat manages to stab the king through the back. He tries to staunch the bleeding, but can't, and the captain dies trying to whisper something to him, but he can't hear it. He starts a fire to burn the castle down and flees into the night, carrying the king's sword and prince's crown with him, and has been fleeing his mistake ever since. There are a few things I haven't mentioned. At some point he cuts off his braid and rejects his gypsy heritage, and takes on the name Damien, maybe after a folk hero or old king. He begins to believe that he is something special. He has a birthmark on his thigh in the shape of a claw or talon, and he is convinced that it's something meaningful, and it's a marker of some sort of great destiny that awaits him. Though he's studied a lot of history and myth, he can't find any examples of the same birthmark elsewhere. His end goal is to become king by his own hand, which is quite the accomplishment for a slave. I know it's a bit thick. I took the backstory of my character and decided to give it a shot as a proper story, and I've been trying to view it as if it were a book.
Honestly, I don't think it's a Mary Sue. I
think it's just a bit long-winded.
Yeah, well, so pretty much for a backstory, I think it's a bit much.
Yeah.
But as far as a story goes, I mean, it's fine. It is giving me very Game of Thrones vibes.
Yes.
And I don't know why it's giving me
Game of Thrones vibes as well. I don't know why. Maybe like the bodies piling up.
Yeah, the body's piling up.
Battle of the Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards, and of course everyone Kingslayer, and then you throw in the Red Wedding there, kind of as well.
Yeah, it's
very Game of Thrones-esque.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's no Mary Sue.
No.
Do you have neon hair? There you go. You're probably fine. Gypsy bleed is nothing compared to purple hair.
Yeah.
So you're probably a-okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is.
Okay, it's okay as a story, but I think for a backstory, it's a bit long.
It's a bit long-winded,
and it's a bit complicated.
And I just feel like, for me personally, I feel like he should have died instantly. I don't...
Between the captain and the king and him, he probably would have died.
I feel like he probably would have... Died. I just don't see how someone doesn't die in that
Gypsy
situation.
boy at 15 didn't die.
Yeah, for killing the fucking heir, But yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it. We went from the most extreme Mary Sue to, it's a Mary Sue, but it's cohesive to genuinely, it's just
a story.
it's just kind of Game of Thrones fan fiction.
If you have any of your own Mary Sue stories, or if you're trying to make a character and you're thinking to yourself, am I making a Mary Sue? Let us know the backstory down below.
Yeah, let's see about that. Also, what Mary Sues have you actually
ran into?
Okay, so I will say I unironically played with a guy called, I am not making it up, his name was Shadow, but in Irish. Yes, I know, his name was Shadow, but he was very young and very excitable, so that's not, again, I feel like a lot of time with Mary Sues, I feel like it's lack of experience, lack of
No, it's not even lack, it's just enthusiasm.
And again, is enthusiasm a bad thing?
No.
But
if they continue to make Mary Sue characters after the fact,
yes. that's where it gets a bit much. Do they take inspiration from Japan? Are they a GM and is it a DM player character?
Red flag.
Do they have any form of neon color?
Red flag.
Is it their own homebrew? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much you can throw at
Well,
it.
let us know down below, and while you're down there, check out the links to the website for the models.
Oh, so you can check out our shitty homebrew.
Yeah, check out our shit.
Honestly, I quite enjoy them though. I will say I think they're really good, and the Facts Don't Care About Your Feelings Ben Shapiro Bard will be up in the next couple of days.
Yes.
I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? I might actually give it away. I'm actually really happy with it. I might give it away for free, just to give people a taste
of it.
And if people like it, then you should go ahead and check out our other homebrew, because if you enjoy this one, you probably will enjoy the other ones. But I'm very, very happy with how this one's shaping up and what it looks like.
But hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. Forgot what the fuck I was going to say there. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
All those moments we lost in time.